Hello, YouTube. Just want to react to the new teaser trailer for Selena 2. Now, I have actually watched this trailer already, so we will not have a live reaction because I did watch it before coming on stream. But I did want to talk a bit about the trailer, so just let it play in the background, and theorize a bit on what the new Selena Hero is going to be. Now, I just want to say right off the back, oh my god, she looks gorgeous. I am absolutely in awe about just how amazing and incredible she looks. She's such a beautiful and a gorgeous character. She gives off two vibes to me. She reminds me a lot about the Final Fantasy XIV like dancer class. Like her equipment looks just like the dancer, and a lot of her movement and like the way she moves in the water looks like dancing, which would also go well with her hero trait because she is Dance of the Deep. That is her character name. But then also, she also gives off this like slight millennia vibe. But I think that's mostly just because of her flower attack, reminding me of the millennia flower attack. Her movement, the outfit, the way she like moves around and is constantly like dancing gives off this just so much dancer vibes from Final Fantasy. And then this attack just looks like millennials like flower dance, which I absolutely love. Honestly, one of the better trailers we've gotten. Definitely a step up from like the Sage trailer. And I do have some more information actually. So I have been doing some predictions with my chat, which this list is ever growing. And if you ever feel like adding to the list, you can just come by, just drop by, make a prediction, and I'll add it to the list. But while doing this, we did actually realize something. If you go on the Chinese reveal, they actually have additional text that is not in the English reveal. And the text is, and it translates to, in the endless dream, the gentle sea demon finally embraced her imperfect self and danced with countless stripped nightmares. The crimson dress rolls up the raging red tide until the dreams of enslaving them are completely shattered. In this vortex of fate of dancing with the deep sea, Selena no longer sings, but chooses to dance with life. So, this is obviously referring to the fact that Selena 1, her whole concept is, singing a song. You're singing with the tide. And the text specifically of choose to dance with life has made some people think that it might be some life-based build, like a life consume build, maybe like a spell life build, like a blood mage, or something like that. That's definitely possible. The way that I looked at it, I think so. The thing that every character in this game like does basically is they take a concept and they share it between each one of them. So like if you take, for example, Iris, both Iris 1 and Iris 2 is the Magi character. Both Mota 1 and Mota 2 is synth troops. All three of the Theas or blessings, or like base of blessings in some way. There's like tends to be these like running themes, or like Rosa 1 and Rosa 2 both have like their realms or their domains. So you have Holy Domain on Rosa 1 and you have Realm of Mercury on Rosa 2. I think the concept that's going to be like carrying over from Selena 1 to Selena 2 is going to be the whole fact that she can like swap between traits. That's my prediction. I think that when you swap her trait, she's going to be doing these dance moves that we see, and maybe there's going to be some sort of build up with the traits, where like maybe one form is going to be like a life regen leech one, and the other form is going to be like a spending form, where you like consume your life. That's with the life stacker setup. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a life stacker character. If it is, I assume it would be life stacker spells, which would be kind of interesting. I think that'd be really cool. But however it ends up working, I do think there's going to be like this whole concept of swapping between forms. With that being said, though, there has been some really good guesses from people in my chat that I think was pretty interesting. Some that really come to mind for me is like... Some that really come to mind for me... Oh, I just realized something. This is basically the same guess. Something that like makes somewhat sense based off what happens in the trailer is like, you know, when you're doing channeling with the character at max channel stacks, she like bursts into the flower. That would then fit with the theme of like Selena wants a channeling character, so Selena 2 is a channeling character. I don't think necessarily she's going to be a channeling character. I think it would be somewhat disappointing if she's a channeling character, but you know, maybe they'll make like an attack-based channeling character instead of a spell-based channeling character. We'll have to see what they think of. I do think like this whole concept of like being a blood mage and doing some sort of life consumable would be very interesting. And then also another one that could maybe be interesting, we are due for a combo Euro. So having her like Euro trait fill up with combo skills, and once you reach a certain amount of like combo sequence, then it like explodes, could be pretty interesting. But we'll just have to see what happens. So I did want to take some time actually to talk about some of the previous trailers and like talk about how accurate these trailers are to like what the actual Euro does. Because it's actually very 50-50. So if you look at like the Sage trailer, for example, the Sage trailer kind of has nothing to do with the Sage Euro. The only like part of this entire trailer that isn't like a red herring is the fact that she like drinks this life potion. But other than this life potion, all of these like special effects that are happening, this whole boom explosion to take away the fire, all of that is just like a red herring. It's not really related to the character in any way. But then we also have trailers like the Vendetta trailer, which is just on the nose completely. It perfectly showcases the character's lore, her whole place of being like a melee assassin, as well as showcasing her flicker striking. This Vendetta trailer was so good, by the way. I can't get over how amazing of a trailer this was. I can't believe we went from this to the Sage trailer. And in this trailer, we do see like the whole Vendetta sequence of her flicker striking around and just killing everyone. And I think a lot of people predicted her to be a flicker strike hero and ended up being correct. Because that's just what it looks like, based off the trailer. It's definitely a bit more ambiguous with Selena, but the one like main theme that I see throughout the video is every time she does like what I assume is going to be a form shift or like a dance move, she does a dance and then a red explosion goes out. Which is why I think she's going to have some sort of like dancing form shifting with her trait. Then we also have like Bing 2. Like Bing 2, for example, had a lot of misdirection or red herrings in his trait. So it does showcase these like two blobs that follow you around, and this is part of the Bing Euro. Like if you play him, you have both of these on your shoulders to follow you around and do the spell bursts and like all your hero trait. But the way they're showcased in this video really makes it seem like he's a sentry build that like might even have to like repair his sentries and stuff like that. When in reality, he ended up being a spellburst character. And like from this trailer, like I would never have guessed spellburst, and even now just rewatching it, like even though I can see some things that are like in the game itself, I would never have guessed him to be a spellburst character. And then like Rosa 2 is like, other than her having the most aura I've ever seen any character have ever, like she has so much fucking aura. There's a lot of things that are very subtly showing like Rosa 2's current trait. You know, it shows Realm of Mercury. It shows the fact that, you know, when she attacks one mob, all the other mobs in the area take damage, things like that. But then there's also some misdirection with like her doing lightning, fire, and cold damage, for example. Which her trait doesn't really do anything like that, even though, you know, the way that people build her as a character, they tend to do all three elements. Like if you do like the Trinity build and stuff. But, you know, initially it shows like ice damage, then it shows fire, then it shows lightning. All of this is just misdirection. The only thing that isn't really the misdirection is her Realm of Mercury that you see throughout the video, and the fact that when she hits one target in the video, all the other targets around them also die. And then we have like the Thea trailer. Oh, this is not the Thea trailer. We have the Thea trailer, which like doesn't show too much, to be honest with you, about the character, other than showing off her amazing fat ass. We just have to appreciate us of that. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, other than showing that off, it doesn't really showcase anything special about the character, but it does actually hint towards the desecration mechanic. Because as she's walking, all of the enemies around her are like slowly desecrating, they're slowly being turned into nothingness, which is basically what her trait is about. Her whole trait is about desecration, and even though it's like a bit of a far-fetched one, it's like kind of difficult to predict it based off the trailer. I do think it does kind of showcase her character in essence and how the character works. With some red herrings here and there. So with all that being said, I think not everything in this trailer is like necessarily going to lead to anything or mean anything. Like all of this black stuff is just like an enemy to be made into an enemy. But the one theme that is constantly repeated throughout, which makes me think it is going to be in the game, is like her dance move into red attack. Because it just is so prominent throughout the video that it would be really surprising to me if it's just like not relevant at all to the character. But like this whole flower attack, like this could just entirely be a red herring. This could be a Sage situation where like this just doesn't actually happen in the game. Even though I really hope it does happen in the game. I hope they do add this to the game in some way. Because I think it's a very beautiful looking ability and it would definitely be a standout character. But anyway, that's enough rambling from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are excited. A lot of people were hoping for Selena 2 last season. And we ended up just getting a completely new hero. So it is nice to finally see the Selena 2 that everyone's been waiting for. And at first, people expected her to be like a tangle character. I don't think she's necessarily going to be based off tangles. Maybe you're going to run tangles with her just because tangles are very strong. But this whole dancing theme is much more interesting to me. So I'm actually very, very intrigued to see what your trait actually is. Because I might just get baited and actually league sort her. Instead of league sorting like Sage, which was the initial plan. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye, YouTube. Bye-bye.